So it's time to develop your own web scraper using the Bright Data's integrated web scraper IDE. Now, the reason you'll want to develop your own web scraper is that honestly, it's a good bit cheaper than doing a custom data set, and you get more flexibility over the parameters and the web pages that you pull from. So to get started, we can navigate to the My Scrapers page and click over here to develop a web scraper. From here, you'll have the option to start from scratch or start from an already existing template, which I think is much easier to explain and get started, so we'll get started with the Walmart one. This will bring you to the Web IDE, which you can see is broken down into essentially two parts, the interaction code and the parser code. Now, all of this is done in JavaScript, so you will need a working knowledge of JavaScript if you want to use the Web IDE. So the interaction code is essentially going to be what interacts with the web page, from proxies to interactions like scrolling. Then the parser code is going to take the interactions from the previous screen and parse through them and get the actual HTML. And you can see this is broken down into two stages, the get products link stage and the get product data stage. So once we have the product links, we now want to get the data from those links. And that is going to be in stage 2. So here you can see we are taking the URLs that we got before, navigating through them, and then once we have the actual product page, we are collecting all that information by parsing through the HTML. And if you want to see an example of what it's actually doing, you can take one of these URLs listed here, which have already been populated for us, and click preview. So you can see exactly what it's doing over here, parsing through all the HTML of the actual page and then spitting out an output, which gives us information like the URL, the product image URL, category, subcategory, and all types of information that were specified in the schema. Now this is cool to preview and see how it works, but what if you actually want to run it? Well, we're going to go up here and say finish editing. It's going to go through and test the code to make sure everything's working as expected and then generate your actual web scraper for you. All right, once it's finished, you can see a collector was generated for us. And how about we give that an actual name? Neat. All right, and from here, you can interact with it by initiating it, checking on different versions, and even editing the code. But we want to go ahead and initiate it. So let's go over here and first set up our delivery preferences. In here, you can choose the file format you want to receive. You can go down here and select a delivery strategy, so API download, email, webhook, or even to your cloud storage. And then you can go through and specify all the different notifications that you want to receive. So we're going to stick with API download because I think that's the most useful and the coolest. And then we'll go over here into this tab, Initiate by API. This is really cool, gives us an actual coding example that we can use to initiate the API using the inputs we provide here. And before just pasting it into PowerShell, we are going to copy it to a notepad. And the reason we're doing this is because we actually have to specify a bearer token here. So let's go ahead and get that. And to get access to your token, go down here into settings, account settings, and then down here in API tokens, you will simply create one. Now I've already done this and I have it saved somewhere safe, and I've taken that and put it directly in the command. All right, so we kick that off, and what it's going to do is give us a collection ID. We are going to need that, so let's copy it. And since we ran that code, it has detected it, and now we can check the results. And you can mix and match. You can use PowerShell, you can use command prompt, you can use Linux Bash. Just for the sake of it, let's try command prompt. So we'll copy this, and then we will have to update our token. So once we have that command, we have opened up command prompt, we can paste that, and just like that, it is telling us, yep, the job is not finished yet. All right, and now that the collector is finished, when we run our result command, you can see we have all of our results here broken down into a JSON format like we specified. So here's all the information we have on it: the URL, the product image URL, what category it's in, the name of it, the price, descriptions about it, all kinds of information from so many different products that we requested. Now it's cool to see all of this information displayed here, but in most cases, you'll integrate this into your already existing code base and be able to parse this using your own code. Now, if for any reason you have trouble with your web scrapers, you can go over to the documentation located over here under resources, and the documentation is actually really good. From here, it's broken down by different categories, and for example, if we want to get started with the web scraper IDE, There's all kinds of subcategories here to help us get started. And there's even documentations on the coding. So going into here, we can look at, for example, maybe we have questions on the interaction code within the IDE. Going into here, we'll give you actual coding examples with explanation on what each line is doing and how you can customize it to fit your needs. So with my recent web scraper, you can see that there were 222 page loads and I spent $1.11. Now, how you use it and how often you use it will determine how much you spend, but if you have custom needs, it's recommended to reach out to your account manager to discuss custom use cases and prices.